Hey everybody, welcome back. It is week 9 and we are gonna talk a little bit about what's going on this week. Also, just as a reminder, I am well aware that there was a hurricane last week and if you are running late with something, it is not a problem. You do not have to ask for an extension. Just go ahead and turn it in as soon as you can. If it's going to be super late, of course, you may want to reach out and let me know. But other than that, everything is fine. I'm not officially changing any deadlines within Canvas because the course is still the course and it's a fully online course. And so there's not really any reason to change anything around, but you wouldn't be counted late if you had something that you needed to submit after the due date. I can talk sometimes. All right, so let's take a look at where we are now. As I mentioned, it is currently week 9, so we are still working on module 3. And in this particular week, what is due is the Reflections on America, the official paper. So the discussion board that you did last week will kind of help you prepare for that. In terms of readings this week, we do have Emerson and Thoreau, which you haven't read yet, or you may have, but if you haven't, of course, that is the next item for reading. And then next week, we don't have any new readings. So we're kind of proceeding like we normally do. So let's look at the paper assignment and talk a little bit about what that will look like. So as I mentioned, we're in week 3. Under readings, activities, and assignments, we of course have the link to the LibGuide with the readings by Emerson and Thoreau. And I showed you guys that in last week's video, the Reflections on America section in the LibGuide. And then of course you have the Reflections on America paper. Now, this particular week, I have it due this week, but if you need help with it and you want me to take a look at it, you can reach out ahead of time and let me know. Send me an inbox with the paper attached, and then we can work on it. So if there's anything that you need help with ahead of turning it in, that's fine. And as I mentioned, if it's not in on Sunday night at 11:59, it's still not going to be counted as late. So keep in mind, you do kind of have into next week to work on that paper because of not only just the hurricane, but just the way life is working. And so let's take a look at the actual assignment for that paper. In this module, we have read the founding documents that created the United States, and we've heard from the great American transcendentalists Emerson and Thoreau. For this paper, choose 1 to 3 primary sources from our readings and use them to support a discussion of how they relate to traits still visible in the U.S. today. You will also include secondary research. This can be on the documents themselves or on the traits in the U.S. you're exploring. So you may or may not have secondary research that talks about Emerson, but you talk about Emerson. And then if you're focusing on, say, for example, the trait of self-reliance, you can research self-reliance separately or with Emerson. So you do need to have at least one work of literature, whether it's from the last section with the Declaration of Independence and all that stuff, the Constitution, the whatchamadiddles, oh my gosh, my brain has lost the word. The early writings, all the early writings from the US are part of that. And of course, this week's readings, which are Emerson and Thoreau. As usual, it's a 3-page paper. The essay itself is 3 pages. You do need to use at least the 1 or more primary sources from the readings for the course. Secondary research should be academically sound, which largely means library. And then I've got some links for you to help. Oh, except that one's broken, so I'm gonna fix that. They're actually next door. You're so close. OAT, yeah. Sorry about that. I am being interrupted. I live next door to the IT office, and so I get a lot of people with computers in their hands going help. And I'm like, ooh, you are not in the right, you are not in the right spot for that. I'm going to check all the links, but for sure that one doesn't work. Let's see if this one does. There we go. So this website and the websites that I have shared have some overviews, characteristics of the United States and American culture, things of that nature that you might want to focus on. And so there's all kinds of fun stuff that you could talk about with the founding documents and, of course, with American culture in general. So I will double check all of those links and make sure that they are working. But in the meantime, feel free to adopt any aspect of American culture because it's election time. Yuck. But one of the big things, of course, that's still a matter of debate and talk is the Electoral College. So you could focus on that aspect of the Constitution and how that's played out in modern world, whatever you want to do. Okay. So any aspect of American culture as it relates to one, two, or three of those documents with some additional research. You don't have to have a ton of additional research. I'm mostly interested in what you have to say about the readings, but and culture, but you will want to supplement some. So keep that in mind. And if you need anything this week, let me know. I am here to help. So take care, everybody. Have a great week 9, and I'll see you next week.